He gets up every day, and there are times where he just gets angry. He's like, this life in a wheelchair is horrible.
Last time here you were a Green Beret, a warrior. Now you're done.
At just 18 years of age, John Masson knew what he wanted to do with his life. Like his father and grandfather before him, he wanted to serve in the United States military.
You just hit a certain point in life where you want this, and it was something I wanted. To be able to put on the uniform. They put the U.S. Army tag over your heart for a reason, because that's where your heart belongs.
John enlisted in 1989, and 2 years later, Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. John was deployed to fight in Desert Storm. In 1991, in the midst of his combat tour, John received a letter from his hometown. His name had been listed on a bulletin board at his old high school in case any students wanted to write to him. The letter was from a girl named Dusty, who was just finishing her junior year.
So I wrote her back, and she wrote me back another time, and this time she sent her senior pictures, because she was a senior this time. That was it.
John and Dusty were soon married. With his family in mind, John left the military. John and Dusty built a home for their children, Jonathan, Morgan, and Ethan, to grow up in.
But there was just something missing. Finally, I just, talking to God and trying to figure out what do you want me to do? And that was go back in the military. Except this time, it wasn't going to be just infantry airborne. It was going to be the best.
In 1998, John joined a long-range surveillance unit in the Army Reserves out of Indiana. Shortly thereafter, he went to Ranger School, earning his Army Ranger tab. And after the attacks of 9/11, intent on fighting for his country, John joined the Special Forces and graduated as a medic in the 20th Special Forces Group, deploying to Iraq in 2007 during the violent time known as the Surge. In 2010, John was deployed to Afghanistan. One night, while conducting village stability operations, disaster struck. John had stepped on a massive IED.
I was telling myself, that's it, okay, just make it to the surgeons and you'll be okay. Just make it to the surgeons and you'll be okay.
After seemingly endless operations and treatments, John was left with both legs missing and his left arm amputated below the elbow. Lying in a hospital bed in Germany, John began to despair.
I'm not the man I used to be. My children aren't going to look at me the same way. There's no way they can look at me the same way. I knew I was getting ready to come home and had said, hey, look, I'm coming home. I was talking to my brother. I said, but I don't want the kids there when I get off the plane. I don't want them to see me like this. And little did I know I was on speakerphone. The next thing I hear a voice coming from the background, and it's my daughter, and she says, Daddy, it doesn't matter how many limbs you lose or how bad you're wounded. You'll always be our daddy, and we love you, and all we want to do is see you. And I'm like, nurse, get me out of here. I'm going home.
On January 21st, 2011, John Masson returned home to his family.
This is my daughter, Morgan.
Hi, Morgan.
This is my oldest son, Jonathan.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hey, my lovely wife, Justina.
The everyday difficulties that John faced were numerous and took a toll not only on himself, but his family as well. Unable to make the necessary alterations to their home, they were forced to sell it.
We were still early on into our injuries and not realizing how hard life was going to be outside of the hospital. Doorways that a wheelchair can't get through, or somehow, some way you find yourself climbing onto a toilet. How disgusting can that be?
I met John Masson at a Memorial Day concert on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. He was in the audience, and I came to say hello.
He's, I'm working with an organization, and we're building homes for severely wounded veterans, and if it would be okay with you, I would love to build you a home. There's got to be a catch. There's got to be a catch. What's going on? But there wasn't. It was just good, loving American people that have a heart and that care, and they care for veterans.
With the support of the local community, under our RISE program and in collaboration with Building for America's Bravest, the Gary Sinise Foundation began work in Southern Pines, North Carolina, and 9 months later, the Masson family had a new home.
This smart home is 100% ADA. It's all one story, minus the room right above the garage, but that has a stair lift. I can get through every single doorway. I can go to the bathroom in every single bathroom. And the biggest part is the technology that's in it, what makes it a smart home. Everything is controlled through an iPad. It controls the lights, it controls door locks, it controls the security system.
The home affords John a new level of independence, making his life a little easier and providing a place of love and laughter for the entire Masson family. John is an ambassador for the Gary Sinise Foundation, helping ensure the gratitude we've been able to show him and his family finds its way to others. We, as Americans, must care for our soldiers before, during, and after the battle. And that's what the Gary Sinise Foundation continues to do. To learn more about the Gary Sinise Foundation and how you can support other wounded veterans like John Masson, go to GarySiniseFoundation.org.